What's up, everybody? This is Matthew Law. You might know me as Oshan from Abbott Elementary, aka Ava's boyfriend. And in real life, I founded a mental health program in Los Angeles. And over the last few years, I've been lucky to have known the Kids Mental Health Foundation and seen firsthand how their resources have positively impacted coaches, parents, teachers, guardians, basically any adult in a child's life. And in this shifting world, really, you as teachers, you have the power to be the stability in students' lives. And by using these free resources that the Kids Mental Health Foundation has set up, you're setting up children for a better future. So we are wishing you all a wonderful back to school season. And remember that mental health starts with us.
As we begin our program, we'll still have a little bit of housekeeping to get started. So let's go ahead and do that. And welcome everybody here to a program that we're very excited to share. Reset and Reconnect, creating practices within the first 30 days that will benefit your classroom all year long. It's a topic that's very near and dear to all of the panelists' hearts, and particularly at the Kids Mental Health Foundation and GoNoodle. We see this as a great opportunity to really look at the kinds of practices and benefits of looking at SEL as a really fundamental part of a great school year ahead. So I'm Eric Covert. I'm the Chief Creative Officer at GoNoodle. I have the privilege and the pleasure of working on content and stories that we share with millions of teachers and kids every single day. I have a deep amount of gratitude and appreciation to all of you for coming here during a busy time of your day and of the year. We're really here all together as a group for the health and wellness of kids. We're excited to start this year off right. We know that there's a sense of possibilities, a sense of opportunity, a sense of a future that we know that I think SEL and the Moodators in particular, our format that we produce in partnership with the Kids Mental Health Foundation, can be really helpful to you as a part of your day. Moodators, if you're not as familiar, as a SEL series that teaches kids how to identify and respond to different emotions and to really understand sort of how to best approach challenges with settled and a mindful approach. And as anything does take a bit of a team here, I'd like to introduce our team today, who's going to talk with us about the Moodators. We're going to talk about how we're using the content, why it's been developed, how it's been developed, how teachers are using it in the classroom. There's a lot to unpack. So I'd love to introduce you all to our panel. First, we have Dr. Ariana Howitt, our content and clinical lead at the Kids Mental Health Foundation. We have Carrie Rivera, K through 5, there she is, reading specialist, and Jennifer Meyer, a fourth grade special education teacher here today. So we're very excited as a team to provide to you a little bit of the context of the Moodators in general, as well as some very exciting specific new content that we've developed. We're going to talk about the science behind that content. We're going to talk about how that's been specifically, really a kind of underscore to the whole signature of the Moodators. Our teachers are going to share how they've used the Moodators videos in their classroom. And we're going to debut brand new Moodators content, a video we call Pizza Cooldown, and fresh out of the oven. And we have a live workshop with our two teachers who are here to talk about how they use this short Pizza Cooldown in their classroom. We're going to have live polls that will occasionally pop up, and we want to hear from you. We're going to ask you questions that we'd love to hear your feedback on, ideas, challenges that you may be facing, and particularly how we can help see how Moodators can help solve those challenges. And we'll have a Q&A. In addition to the live polls, we'll have a Q&A that'll be happening ongoing. We have a team standing by to answer your questions as they come in the chat. And we have a couple of the questions that we want to answer for the entire group out loud as a panel. And finally, as if it could get any more exciting, we have five lucky winners will be selected to receive a surprise and delight classroom pack from the Kids Mental Health Foundation and GoNoodle for participating today. So there's a lot to unpack. And I think the best thing that we think might just be the way to kick it off is really just talking about why content, these habits, these SEL habits can be helpful in this really crucial part of the first 30 days of a school year. So I'm going to turn that over to Dr. Howitt for that.
Hello, everyone. And Eric, you cut out for me a little bit. Did he cut out for others? Okay. So do you mind repeating that question again?
Sure, sure. Thank you. We're going to talk about why creating proactive SEL habits are so important for the first 30 days of the school year.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. I'm so excited to share a little bit of why we've created the Moodators and the content behind it. Um, uh, for me as a psychologist, I love creating these resources for teachers because you all are in the front lines. You get to see kids every day, and oftentimes you are the first to notice mental health concerns in your students. And so I really hope you walk out today knowing that you have a lot of power. You get to help shape a child's mental wellness and help them grow healthy and prevent concerns in the future. So we did a survey recently with a lot of you all of our teachers, and we learned from you that you have a lot of concerns about the students, their mental health, and their behavior in the classroom. And so why it's great to have this conversation today is that if you start now at the beginning of the school year, your classroom environment can be a lot easier. We know research shows that as children learn to regulate their emotion, it's going to improve their behavior, it's going to improve social interactions and their academic performance. If a child can calm down, they're less likely to act out. If a child knows the pro-social behaviors like making friends, being kind, caring, we see less bullying, more inclusion, more connection, and we know that's all great for their mental health. And so that's really what we hear from teachers that use the Moodators, and you will hear more today, is kids can better express themselves, be kinder to each other, and it improves the whole environment. So I'm very proud of the resources we've created, not just the videos, but the activities, the guides, the lesson plans that go along with the videos. When we first launched the Moodators, we really focused on helping teachers and students talk about just emotion words. How do emotions feel in the body? So kind of that first step into understanding emotion regulation. And then we launched a second set of videos where we went deeper, and it's song-based, which is really fun. And it's tools that I teach in therapy and cognitive behavior therapy, but it's through song. Like Bully in Your Head is teaching thought challenging. The nervous system song is teaching about anxiety and how to cope with anxiety. And then, as Eric mentioned, we have a new round of videos that help kids, now that they've kind of learned what emotions are, how they feel in the body. How do I cope? How do I calm down? And so these videos are hands-on. Kids can use it in the calm down corner in the classroom to just take that beat, take that break, and calm their body down and go back to problem solving, figuring out. So super proud and excited, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for giving that. It's a program that we've worked on now for several iterations. So there's a lot to use and to to use every day. We're going to have some polls as they come up. In fact, we have one right now that helps us to really kind of take this conversation and really kind of have you express the kinds of things that are important for you to talk about. We want to know what's been your biggest challenge so far this school year. We're seeing a lot of different answers here: behavior management, habits, managing emotions, keeping focus, building connection. But we're seeing, you know, like as all of this is sort of coming in real time, behavior management is a very real, you know, issue and opportunity. I think that where we can, we hope that the Moodators content and the discussion we have today can really helps to steer that, you know, as a sort of a proactive approach. So the quizzes and the poll itself has been super helpful, and um, that we're going to kind of then turn this discussion because we'd love to actually hear a little bit more um, with that in mind from our other panelists. We'd really love to hear from Jennifer. Jennifer, you've been using this content, you know, broadly in the classroom for some time. We've all been sharing stories from Skylar and Clara, and we'd love to hear from you a bit more about how you're using it in the classroom, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little perspective and experience.
Oop, Sure. Hi, everybody. Um, I've been a special ed teacher for 29 and a half years, so I'm very familiar with all those things in the what is that?
Chat, the poll.
Yeah, the poll. Thank you. Um, so I've always worked with self-contained classroom, and I've been working in a special program at my school for the last 11 years. So I work with kiddos who have autism, but can function within a community school. So a couple of years ago, I found, I guess when it was launched, the Moodators, and I found one of the best things that I do every single morning with my kids is the good morning song. And I saw somebody in the chat also put that as their favorite. This just provides an opportunity for the kids. I mean, it's fun. They sing along. It gives them that time in the morning just to kind of calm down, you know, get into how the day is going to be going. So that's really exciting. Another one that I really like is Take Five. So because I work with children who have difficulties with managing their emotions, Take Five is also awesome because it actually teaches them how to do that. And it goes through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So just showing them that and being able to use it in the moment, if I see that my kids are not managing their emotions, I will stop what I'm doing and I'll be like, all right, I think we need to take 5. And they know exactly what that means. So I love the fact that the Moodators was made, along with all the other videos about different feelings. So I love that too. So yeah, so that's how I'm using it in the classroom. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Thank you, Jennifer. And Carrie, would you mind sharing maybe your perspective and your insights on how you use it?
Sure. So I've used GoNoodle, it feels like forever. So I taught first grade for 9 years before moving to my current reading specialist position. Um, I actually used GoNoodle with my own kids at home, especially during distance learning. So when my kids were toddlers, they all learned how to do the roller coaster and all that. Um, but recently, my new favorite, and Jennifer kind of stole my answer, is the Good Morning song. I actually was listening to it this morning, and I'm not gonna lie, I woke up feeling kind of crummy and like, oh, I don't want to go to work. And then listening to that song, reminding myself, okay, which one's trying to pick the best one, and I immediately felt better, right? Because it talks about like check in with your feelings. And my favorite part of the song is when it's like, you belong here. We're happy you're here. And so I have used that because I'm a specialist. I often do intervention. But if a teacher's running late, they'll shoot me a text and I'm like, I'm on my way. And it's my go-to. Like, all right, guys, I don't have plans. Let's do GoNoodle. Yay! And that's the one I put on because the moderators are just full of joy. Like, yeah, they're performers and that's kind of their job, but it feels like it really comes from them. And it's just kind of contagious. I'm like an old lady already, and I was in a bad mood, and just watching the video, making my coffee already got me ready for the day. And so, yeah, but before I was in a classroom, like in a normal classroom, I would use GoNoodle as my breaks in instruction. So we would go from like phonics. All right, we're shifting to comprehension. Let's do a GoNoodle. All right, now we're switching to math. Let's do a GoNoodle. So that's how I used it in my regular class. And then now I use it to support content and to make myself feel better when I wake up in a bad mood.
Well, that's wonderful. We have a saying, we say at GoNoodle, there's a GoNoodle for that. So whatever the problem is, there's a GoNoodle for that. But this particular insight and answer you've given is really, really great to hear. And a lot of people are providing, I think, kind of similar answers here in the chat. So thank you so much for that. And that leads us to another question we wanted to ask, which is what is one transition you want help with? And I think you've shared a little bit of the sort of the parts of the day, whether it's morning meeting, after lunch, after recess, creating just overall habits. There are transitions that, are it can be very challenging for kids, and the structure that all of you who care so much and so deeply for kids, you wouldn't be here if you didn't, are looking to understand sort of what kind of area could this transition be just a little bit lessen the load if you had the right solutions. And it looks like creating overall habits is really a big, consistent bit of feedback and insight that you're offering. And those habits are really crucial. We know that, and we're so glad that this maybe could be a place to talk about what kinds of habits have others been using with the Mooderators, and how maybe even this new content can be used as well. So let's talk about that new content. Let's talk about that new content, and let's get this off my screen too. There. And that content is, as we've talked about before, a new way, an animated way. Actually, it's the first time we've taken the Mooderators and created an animated version of them. And we think that this is really going to be very exciting and engaging for kids. But we also think the subjects, the topics are also going to be very engaging. And this is, I think, a great opportunity. You're the first really to see it in a group to talk about it. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to go ahead and play that video now so you can see it.
I'm Skylar.
Yo soy Clara.
And we're the Mooderators.
Hi there, friends.
Hello.
We're so glad you're here. Sometimes when we feel angry, sad, or nervous, that can be uncomfortable in our bodies and in our minds. For those times, wouldn't it be nice to have a way to help those feelings settle and cool down?
Funny you should say cool down. That reminds me of a useful activity that helps me during those hard moments. It's called the Pizza Cooldown.
Want to try? Let's practice.
Together. Let's pause. Take a break from what you're doing and find a quiet space to get comfortable. And let's pretend our delicious pizza is ready, fresh out of the oven. It smells so good, but it's too hot to eat. Now, are you ready for the Pizza Cooldown? Try it with me. We'll take a long sniff in through our noses to smell the pizza for 4 counts. And now, blow out super slowly for 6 counts to cool down the hot pizza. And again, sniff in. A little more. And now try an even longer out breath to cool the pizza.
Hey, I noticed that we might be cooling down ourselves, even on the inside, while we cool down the pizza. Cooling our bodies can help us feel more calm.
Let's do a Pizza Cooldown one last time, just to make sure we're fully cooled down, inside and out. Sniff in. A little bit more. And blow all the way out. Our pizza should be cool enough to eat by now.
When your body and mind feel cooled down and settled, you can handle some of those strong feelings and emotions. The ones that make your body feel tight and make your mind seem really busy or stuck.
Yeah, you're right. Pizza Cooldown helped me feel more cool and calm. But now I am kind of hungry.
Now that you're more calm, you may feel more in control. You can think about what choices you'll make next to solve your problem or help you have a better day.
Let's listen to our feelings. What do they say today?
Just remember, we're here for you.
For you, for you.
Well, it makes me smile every time I watch it, and I think based on our panelists, it's same. It really connects, and it looks like from the chat we're getting a lot of really good feedback from you, and that really is great. That's really great. That's why we produce it. That's why we make it as a resource. But Dr. Hoet, would you mind actually maybe giving us a little bit of a breakdown of sort of why we create a Pizza Cooldown?
Absolutely. All of the resources and the videos we create, there's a scientific reason behind it. And, before I jump into Pizza Cooldown, I want to talk about Good Morning Song because Jennifer and Carrie, you both mentioned that's the one you use. That one came from this idea when we're in training to become psychologists and therapists. There's something called doorknob mindfulness. And it's this idea that before you walk into the next patient room, you stop when you're touching the door and you bring yourself into the present moment. You're not bringing into the patient room whatever just happened in another patient room. And the Good Morning Song was this idea that we don't know what students are coming to school with from home. We don't know what their morning was like. And so can we have this stop, this mindful moment in the morning to start their day? And as you hear the lyrics, it's all about how are you feeling? Everything's okay, but now we're here. Now we're here to learn. So as we were thinking about, okay, next round of videos with helping kids regulate and calm down, pizza breathing is another tool that we use in therapy all the time. We know diaphragmatic breathing, belly breathing is an excellent way to physiologically calm our bodies down. When I teach biofeedback and I have kids hooked up, it is so cool to see how when they do that belly breathing correctly, their heart rate drops, their blood pressure drops. I mean, it just relaxes their body. However, as you all know, you're teachers, it takes a lot to get kids to listen, to want to engage, to be interested. And so pizza breathing is just a way that we make it fun in therapy and get them to smell that pizza, blow on it, cool it down. And so it's a really fun way to teach that diaphragmatic breathing, get kids to pause in whatever's going on. And instead of acting out on that emotion, they can blow on that pizza anywhere they are, breathe in, breathe out, and calm down and be able to solve the problem of whatever's facing them.
It's wonderful. And one of the ways that we know we can bring that mindfulness sort of not only through the video and the experience of seeing it, but Dr. Hoet and to all of our panelists, there's lesson plans that go with the video as well. So do you want to talk, could you talk a little bit about just connecting the video to either other previous videos? Because we just talked about Good Morning Song, and the lesson plans, because I think we hope that these can be useful both in storytelling, but also in practical application. Do you mind talking a little bit about that, about how you use it? Maybe Jennifer or Carrie, do you have any thoughts on those? Or Dr. Hoet about the lesson plans? Anybody who wants to just sort of speak to the lesson plans?
Yeah, so what I love about the Moodators is that there's a lot of different ways to implement in the classroom. You can do the video, right? But if you want to extend the learning, which we hear a lot of teachers do, a lot of teachers want to keep the conversation going, then there's something as simple as worksheets that are activities, like the Take 5 video that a lot of people put in the chat, have a little one pager where kids can come up with their 5 things that their 5 senses that they see around them. But if we want to take it a little bit further, then we have lesson plans, workbooks, activities that help learn emotion words, how they feel in the body, and then those different tools, whether it's progressive muscle relaxation, whether it's square breathing, and all of these things I'm naming are in our videos, are in our lesson plans. And so it's things that you can start the conversation with your students today and get them to practice, normalize it. And the more they use it, the better they're going to become with the skills. But what we hear from teachers is that then it just allows them to communicate better and express their emotions a lot better.
Right, right. It's wonderful to see too in the chat. So many of you have been putting in, where you use this content, brain breaks, and it seems like this is really going to be a great addition. And we have more. We're going to talk about that later, but we don't want to sort of spoil it for you. I think we have another poll. Yeah, and there it is. Speaking of sort of using this as a day-to-day, where would you try Pizza Cooldown first? These are the opportunities. Oh, it's flying. People have lots of ideas about where this would work, and I think you're right. Once you see it could be useful for post recess or maybe before a test or during tough transitions, particularly tough transitions. Morning meeting, a great way to cool down and to be ready for the day, and of course, in the calm down corner. All of these are really, really insightful. It's all such insightful feedback. It's so helpful for us. It's so gratifying for us too, by the way, at GoNoodle and the Kids Mental Health Foundation, because we see this being something that we hope can be useful in those really objective places throughout your day. So do please use it and enjoy it. It's on live now at GoNoodle.com. And we're excited because we're seeing a lot of people using it as well. So that
Oh,
what we see being useful. We're using Pizza Cooldown. Did you want to say something, Carrie, or did somebody want to say something?
sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. I actually used Pizza Cooldown today for the first time with my kindergartners. We were in the middle of a lesson and they're kindergartners. So you bring up cookies and then everybody has a story about their grandma and the neighbor and when they went to space because, they're 5. And I was trying to bring them back down and I'm like, all right, guys, let's take a deep breath. And they all looked at me like I was crazy. Like they had no idea what I wanted them to do. And I literally, Eric was like, I gotta go noodle for this. Hold on. And so I moved location. So I have my phone, which is only like tiny, but we watched it. And then I was like, all right, guys, let's do our pizza cool down. And it was cute because one of them was like, my pizza has pepperoni. And I was like, oh my God, this is working. And I wanted to add that, right? It literally was in the middle of a lesson because I could not get these little 5-year-olds, 4 really, some of them are still
Yeah.
4, to like get it together. And when I said, let's take a deep breath, they didn't know what I was talking about. But once you bring up pizza, even my 2 little ones who only speak Spanish were like, pizza? Like they immediately knew what I was talking about. And it was perfect. So I just want to say, I actually tried it today with 5-year-olds and they loved it.
Oh,
They
it's
wanted to watch it again.
wonderful.
And I was like, no, we got to get back to work.
That's wonderful. You're right. Pizza and cookies. I think both of those things at any age would be sort of perk you up and want to do that. How about you, Jennifer? Do you any ideas or ways you might use this in the class?
Yeah, so I feel like it was the perfect thing to associate with kids, right? Like you just said, pizza is for everybody. It's something the kids are familiar with. So when I showed it to the class, I actually made prior a pizza cutout. So that way I can just even very nonchalantly show it to a kid and maybe they need to grab it and go off to the calm corner, to do that. And I'm also feeling like I might have the kids make their own where they can add what they want on it and then laminate it, and then that could be their pizza
Oh, I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's great. That's great. Anything, any ideas, Dr. Ho, you might add to that? I mean, this was inspired by your work and practice.
I love these stories, and I have to share a story because kids are just, I mean, you guys know this, right? They always humble you, but I once tried to use pizza breathing with my daughter. She's 5, and she was so mad in the moment. And I saw in the chat the idea of use it all the time so that they're used to it and have practice versus just when they're dysregulated. Because I made that mistake, and I told her, okay, you're really angry right now. Let's pretend you have a pizza. Let's smell it, blow on it. And she grabs my pretend pizza and goes and ate it and walked away. So it was like, okay. So kids are just, you never know. So definitely agree with what was said in the chat of practice it, make it a part of your routine. Because if you bring it up for the first time in an angry moment, they'll eat it and walk away.
And it's a great, example, but a lot of people are putting it in the chat here. There's a lot of people that are using either using it or now inspired by you to do this. So I think that's our goal is today is to help inspire and excite others to try to adopt this yourself. Speaking of exciting, we're excited because this is just the first, but we actually have more of these animated Mooderator shorts coming. And Dr. Ho, do you mind? We can maybe share this together, but do you mind sharing a little bit about what's to come?
Absolutely. So to continue the idea of videos that kids can use in their calm down corner to calm down, we have other videos. One is Scan with a Plan, and it is helping a child be mindful of how emotions make their body feel. As you all know, if a child doesn't notice the emotion is starting to upset them, they just go 0 to 100, blow up, make decisions that they regret later. And so we really want them to learn, hey, my cheeks are starting to get hot, my fists are starting to tense, and catch that emotion early. So Scan with a Plan will guide them on how does that body feel and helping them relax their body. It is a type of mindfulness meditation exercise that helps kids feel more in control, and adults too, as someone said earlier in the chat. And then See Now to Be Now, another type of mindfulness exercise, but instead of being internally aware, we ask them to be externally aware. So those that know Take 5, where we use all 5 senses to bring them to the present moment. This is like that, but we're just using the sight. We're asking them to look around. Sometimes that's a little bit easier than to use all 5 senses when we're feeling really upset. So we ask them to focus on a single object at a time and really bring their attention to the present moment and get out of their head, get out of those stressful thoughts or angry thoughts that they're having, come to the now. And then once they're calm and feel more in control, they can return to whatever was going on. So we're super excited to release those too.
Yeah, no, we are too. GoNoodle is thrilled to work with you on that and to have them premiere. We have Scan with a Plan is planned to premiere in November, and then in January we'll plan for See Now to Be Now to roll out. And as Dr. Howitt said, these are really great ways of sort of both looking at sort of how the mind-body connection works as a way to kind of help calm and regulate your emotions with Scan with a Plan, and then with See Now to Be Now, we're just breaking out one thing, which is sight. But in that, I think kids are really going to understand sort of how to apply this by looking at what they see as a way of sort of slowing down what's happening around them. So we are very excited about that. We couldn't be happier to have that be a new way to tell to help kids, to help teachers, and to help families as well. So we have another poll question that's coming your way. Which SEL support do you need most right now? That's probably a big one. So there's probably a lot of answers, but whether it's printable visuals, short regulation videos, behavior strategies, connection builders, parent tools, as I was just saying, we do want to really create that sense of really the sense of both parent, family, teacher, and kids can really sort of feel the benefit of this here. Look like a really diverse amount of responses here, but we're glad to see that there's a contingent that likes the printable visuals because we do have that as really sort of our plan and our resources moving forward. The videos themselves are of course the core of what we do, but it seems that with a good 41% right there, weighing in behavior strategies. Um, is a really important part of why we do the videos, and to try to offer inspiration and ideas. So thank you for your feedback on that. And we're going to kind of take an opportunity now. We've been actually receiving a lot of questions in the chat, and we have our team that's been standing by answering some of them. But this is an opportunity for us to really hear from some of the most interesting questions we received. So we're going to go through that and have our panel provide maybe some feedback on that. So our first question is, I'm afraid to bring the topic of mental health in my classroom up and how to address it. How do I make this a healthy conversation in my class? So, Dr. Howitt, if you wouldn't mind starting that c- uh, conversation off, and then I'd love to hear from Jennifer and Carrie as well. Go right.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jennifer and Carrie will have the best answer since they are in the classroom. From my perspective, I just really want to point out we never want to make teachers therapists, right? You will have enough on your plate that we don't want to give you a second job. So with the GoNoodle resources, we're really thinking upstream. We're really thinking, what are those daily habits that you can build in your students? Just like we teach them to move their body and get enough sleep and eat their veggies, there's those daily things to do for their mental health. And so it's about giving you the tools of how do you communicate with them? How do you respond when they're having tough behaviors or tough emotions? And then again, just building those daily habits. Don't wait until there's a concern or a problem. And so my hope is that it's not scary or challenging, that it's actually fun. And I feel like that's what the Moodators bring is it's light, it's fun, and it just normalizes that we're humans and you're going to feel things and that's okay. And let's talk about it. But yeah, I'd love to hear from Jennifer and Carrie what their experiences are bringing this topic up in the classroom.
Yeah. Please, Jennifer, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So to answer that question, I say brain health. I don't use the word mental health. So I will tell the kids, you want to keep your brain healthy. So that's how I address it without using the words mental health. So I'm hoping that will help you. That could be your healthy conversation in the classroom using the Moodators.
That's great. How about you, Carrie?
I talk a lot about how everyone's brains are different and that different brains need different things. And that the best thing a learner can do is to say, I need time, I need space. But I think the thing I'm most proud of, so I work with students in K-5. When they get mad, a lot of kids think like it's wrong, like they're going to get in trouble. And I'm constantly, probably 5 times a day, like, it's totally normal to get mad. It's okay to be mad. What's not okay sometimes is the way we respond. Like, my kids make me mad. I can't just go home and tear up their bedroom, right? Like, I have to tell them I'm mad because blah, blah, whatever. And so with the little ones, especially my kindergartners today, practicing saying, I don't like it when you touch me. It makes me feel icky inside. And then teaching the other kids, like, someone's not being mean when they tell you, I don't like it when you look at me like that. They're communicating what their brain needs to learn. And we all have different brains and different needs. And if we were all the same, life would be really boring. I'm like, my brain needs coffee. Some brains just need sunshine. Some brains need a hug. Some brains need their own space. And so that I think is a big thing about, like, it's totally okay to be mad. Because in a lot of cultures, like, you're not allowed to be mad at your parents. You just have to kind of take it for what it is and storm off. And so I think that's a big lesson for our kids. Like, You can be mad, but let's learn how to be mad in a way that's safe and kind to other people.
Yeah, that's really well said. Thank you both, thank you all for that. I think it's a great question, and we have a second question here. What's the best approach when speaking with family members about these subjects? Anybody?
These conversations with parents before, and I tried to keep it very like fact-based, right? Like I observed your daughter look like this. I observed your child say, like I've overheard conversations of, and I tried to keep the feelings out of it. Like, I think your kid is depressed or whatever, right? Which I think a lot of teachers know. Like, we have to keep it very like fact-based. Like, this was the event. This is what I saw. This was the event. This is what I heard. I'm concerned about it because I care about your child and I want to make sure that I'm doing all I can do to support them. And you, as their parents, are their biggest advocate, their biggest teacher, their biggest blah, 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 blah. But you don't get to see how they're acting at school. So for me, that's what I try to make it very fact based and not about thinkings. Yes, someone just put it in the chat observable and measurable. Exactly.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Anything you'd like to add to that, Jennifer? Any approach or solution?
So I basically, like somebody said in the chat, I let the parents know about GoNoodle. They sign up and I share with them my favorite videos we're doing in the class. So that way at home, families can help them as well.
That's great. Thank you. Anything you'd like to add to that, Dr. Howitt, about
Yeah,
bringing that to a
um,
family member?
I think just the conversation, it may not just be one conversation. You all see kids in a very different environment than parents do. And so sometimes what you observe may be shocking. And also culturally, there may be a sense of mistrust or just simply not understanding and surprise. And so it may require a lot of conversations. And exactly as you all have said, you know, being objective and not labeling and saying, hey, we're in a team here. Um, and also, I know it came up in the chat is that the GoNoodle resources, they also have the parent side. So bring the parents on right now at the start of the school year, share the Moodators with them so that they're also learning the same language that the children are learning. And they're kind of talking about mental health before it's a concern, talking about mental health normal like we all would. And that way it's everyone is learning together. And I see something here in the chat. Yeah, so at kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org, we have a lot for parents, and that's also free. And so it is a resource that, along with the Moodators, if parents want to learn more about mental health and daily habits in the home, there is so much there that they can have access to.
Yeah, that's right. And some had actually been asking, I think, for both Kids Mental Health Foundation and GoNoodle, we do want you to see there is actually in the chat, we've put in there we've dropped in there the link for you to see the moderators on GoNoodle, the channel. There's really a wealth of resources, content, printables, discussion prompts. There's a lot of really great resources there. So it's all there. And yes, it's all free. So those who had asked if it was free, it's all free. So that is really important. We want you to know that as well. And it's apparently it's also here. Yeah, right there, the resources that you see in the chat. And to the resources at the bottom of the screen too, that you as well. So certainly this is why we do this conversation at the beginning of the school year. This is the beginning of a year of possibilities, a year of opportunity. We know sometimes it can be a year of challenges to solve, but we're here with you, and we're so happy we've had the opportunity to share some of our insights and anecdotes and inspiration. So, as we start to sort of conclude our program, Dr. Holt, is there anything that you'd like to recap or any final thoughts that you'd like to offer?
No, I'm just very excited for this conversation. We've done a survey to you all, the teachers, and we heard that you want those behavior management tools, you want those printouts to extend the learning. So really, just want to call out that is there. If you're watching a Moodarator video, there's a little download guide at the bottom to extend that learning, and really any of these tools. They may not be labeled behavior management, but that's what they're about, is to help the child regulate, calm down, build those healthy relationships, which we know translates to that. That's always where we start, but when it comes to behavior management.
Wonderful. And as I said before, there's more to come. We have more original shorts coming to help you through the rest of the school year, to inspire conversation and be there for you. This has been an amazing conversation. I promised you that we would finish with a little bit of a sweepstakes winner. You're all winners, but we're going to talk now specifically about 5 amazing participants who are going to be receiving a GoNoodle and the Kids Mental Health Foundation Surprise and Delight Classroom Pack. And they are Deborah Figueroa, Kayla Ota, Ashley Gilbertson, Miss Bakunas, and Katie Bolden. Congratulations on your gift, but truly, we're the ones who are the lucky ones here. We have you sort of out there working with the students every day, and you've given us the privilege of bringing GoNoodle and the Moodators into your classrooms and into your lives, and so we're deeply grateful to that, and so grateful for you to be here today. And so a special thank you to all of you. A huge thank you uh, to all of our panelists. As it says in the chat, we want you to know we'll email you this after the webinar to make sure that if you did get a prize, you have that. And we'll also be emailing a follow-up on all of the different polls and information and data and the things that you can use moving forward. But I thank our panelists today, Dr. Howitt, Carrie, Jennifer. Thank you so much. And be sure to look at your email for more tips from our teachers on how they're using the Moodators in their classroom, answers from our Q&A today, new content. Like I said, I'm the creative guy, so I have to keep on plugging the creative that's coming. So be looking out for it. And we're just so grateful to every single one of you for being a part of what we do. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful school year. Thank you.